before you start asking your questions, let me just say I've been taken to task for my earlier comments about the career opportunities in racing compared with gaming. What I should have said is the depth and breadth of the career opportunities in racing are nowhere near anything else that can be offered in lotteries or in casinos or anything, right? We produce veterinarians, we produce farmers, we produce professional jockeys, we produce professional traders who are international, who can go anywhere in the world and get a job. I don't know about people selling lotteries, if you can go in anywhere and sell lotteries. As we come to this very important section, therefore, I'm ready to field your questions. If you can move that light, I can't see with the light in my eyes. The other people on our panel are Mr. Richard Longmore, the CEO of the Racing Commission, Mr. Cedric Stewart, the CEO of the Cayman Spark Limited, and Mr. Tony Cocking from Lime, who's going to tell us about telephone betting, I hope. And of course, you have Mr. Chris Brown, who you just heard from. I'm sorry that the chairman of the Racing Commission pleaded no case, had a no case submission, so he didn't present us with something, because I wanted to tackle him on a number of issues, but he's at the back there, we can still ask him questions. So go ahead and ready to field the questions now.
Artists to build the industry. So without we have artists coming from abroad, we can have an industry, the best industry in the country. So I would like to know what is the reason why they are taxing the artists that's supposed to raise and breed and build up our industry. Could you find out the reason?
The current customs law allows one to import goats, sheep, dogs, jackasses, donkeys, cows, and other animals duty-free. Horses, however, seem to have a problem. And the need to have our breeding stock refreshed every year is vital if we want to have a continuing, vibrant racing industry. So the question is, why are you taxing horses and the other animals seem to be becoming duty-free?
There's a duty on the importation of horses.
There's none on importation of dogs.
I will admit that based on discussions we have had with a number of persons in the horse racing industry, there is a depletion of the quality of horses that we're going to have available in another 3 to 5 years, and therefore there is the urgent need, as I'm told, to import somewhere in the region of about 200 horses for the industry, or there won't be a good product down the road. I've listened very carefully to the presentation that these persons made to me last week, really, and I intend to have a discussion with a broader stakeholder group to look at replenishing the stock. I go no further.
All you have to do, Mr. Minister, is add a horse to the long list of animals that are on that list of the Customs Department. In fact, when I submitted this to one minister a couple of years ago, many years ago, he said that to have the law changed was going to take so long. Howard, all we do is just ask for a waiver. I know the problems I've had with waivers. Richard, your time.
Mr. Minister, there is another problem with the importation of horses, in that you are contributing to the demise of Cayman and Strat. Because imported horses usually race in the higher classes as a result of not having them to replenish the racing stock. You don't have enough horses to generate enough betting. So unlike most other industries, you should be looking short-sighted as to how much taxes you generate when the horse is imported. But you should be looking how much taxes you generate in betting on the horses when they participate, which would in the long run amount to more than you are foregoing. Much the same argument you accepted with the automobile industry when you reduce the taxes on the higher price cars because they weren't coming in, so you were getting no taxes. So this is a situation where if you lower or eliminate it, you will end up with more taxes, not less.
There is also the need to replenish the stock you have for the racing industry. There is also a present regime, as I said, that you pay some taxes on importation, and we will, as we have discussed in the past, and change things and you know, deal with the resolution of these things. I'm having a discussion with some people who are in the breeding section of the racing industry to see how we can replenish the stock.
The breeding industry, the export of horses is one of the few things that we export to Trinidad. And that has been a very successful entity in the last couple of years, and I would hate to see us start to lose that edge based on the quality of horses that we do have to breed in.
I think that subject has been aerated, and I think the Minister has come to a full understanding. You know, Mr. Minister, one of the things about the racing industry is that it is the most misunderstood industry of all of the aspects of gaming. The true potential of this industry has never, ever been met. I've written several times about the tourism potential in terms of an entertainment for tourists, right? I can foresee buses coming in off the cruise ships in Otrios coming and spending an afternoon at Caymanas Park. I can see buses coming from all over the tourist areas coming and spending an afternoon at Caymanas Park, because this is an entertainment that is attractive to all areas and all sectors of society, and we're sitting down with an asset that is there we're just floundering and floundering and floundering. The chairman of CTL made a comment that it would be irresponsible of him to have the company increase purses. I would like to suggest it is irresponsible of him for the company to continue operating when those who perform in the industry are not being adequately compensated and can't pay their bills. Right? If we have had increases from 2009, which are horrendous, not simple. Bag of feed, I said earlier, used to cost $500 back in 2009, cost $1,500 now. The average daily keep and care minimum was $1,200 back then per day. It is now in the region of $2,000 per day. How can we continue to survive and continue? That's why a lot of us are shipping our horses out to Trinidad, where the prices are so much better over there. But seriously, you speak about funding. The government appreciated back in the 1970s that the activities of the bookmaking industry was such that they were having a serious effect on the revenue of the racing industry and the promoting company. And they therefore put in this act in 1975 and introduced a levy scheme where the proceeds from the tax of the bookmakers went towards paying purses, and this was gazetted every year. The promoting company had a problem in getting the tax out of the Ministry of Finance, and they ran into overdraft, and the expenses were very high. They've had to change the tax and change the regime, but nobody paid any attention to the other aspects of the levy scheme, which were also withdrawn at the same time. So to take back 2.5% of that money is nonsense, Mr. Minister, right? They need back at least 50% or 60% of that money to adequately.
You had none last year, right? You have none. So if you start somewhere, come on,
No. But I don't think you appreciate the problems that we are having. You know, we can't pay our bills. We cannot pay our bills.
You are getting 2.5% of the levy. The breeders will be getting 0.5%. CTL will be getting a 4%. You didn't have it before. It went. Somebody took it away. And last year's summit, the members of the game industry called for it to be reinstated. And it has taken us a year to do the amendment to go back over it, because we were already on our planned fiscal year. So,
you, Mr. Hamilton, could you ask me what is the amount of the levy that they are collecting? I didn't know any levy that will be collected now. What's the amount of levy that we're going to get 2.5% off?
You mean the actual amount?
What is 2.5% equal to?
I don't have the numbers with me. You get 2.5% of the breeders will get 0.5% of the 16.5%. The CTL will get 2.5% towards purses, which was not there. It was not there before it was taken off. And the other section will go there. I have it somewhere.
To the breeders.
Any member of the panel.
In this forum, probably it would be good if you could elaborate on it, because you're getting 60% of what?
No,
What
I think
is the government getting 60%
I
of?
thought you knew what was the...
I don't know what you're getting 60% of.
based on what we have been advised, that 2.5% represents approximately 2 million per month.
That is guaranteed to us first.
Yes.
But that, the question I'm asking, if you don't mind, what is the quantum of money and what percentage is the government getting and from where? Because from what the government got before as betting tax, the government got betting tax and then the government got taxes from profits. So the betting tax was nowhere near 16.5%. So I don't know what you're talking about. Can you elaborate what percentage the government gets now, or what is it going to get, and so from that, what we are going to get back?
No,
Chris, you want to answer that?
Yeah, it is from the BJLC. I don't know if Gary or Jack could elaborate. I don't have those numbers. But the number I have as to what our 2.5% represents is 2 million per month. As to what that, as to the overall pie and the value of it, I don't have those figures right here. The BJLC can.
Mr. Zan, Mr. Zan. Hold on. Mrs. Roden.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Zan.
Yeah.
I will get the exact amount. I will get how much we expect to gross, and I will share it with the industry within 24 hours.
I'm surprised you don't have that figure on especially.
No, I left my other 5 really.
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
Whatever the figure is, Mr. Minister, with the greatest respect, sir, we want horse feed, that is chicken feed. Maybe if we could ask Mr. Cocken to give us some information about the new technologies coming in with respect to telephone betting and how this will affect the fortunes of our promoting company.
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon. The technology is very basic. You can do different types of betting. You can use voice telephony, you can use text messaging, or you can use data, which is basically an application for the smartphone users. So I see it as 3 distinct segments that you go after. Persons who are quite savvy and they would have a smartphone like Samsung S5 for example, and you install the app on it. This app would be developed by CTL or some third party, preferably third party so that we can spread the word. Then you basically replicate the tote system that exists at Caymanas Park on the phone. It's just a miniature version. You eliminate the cashiers and everything. Everything is deducted from your credit, or it is linked to your bank account or credit card. Via text message is just a scaled down version of that. And for the persons who are not tech savvy, they could basically dial into the tote system, and the infrastructure is actually there. We had done a study a couple of years ago on the system at Caymanas Park. We didn't get to the implementation stage, but it is possible for you to dial into the system that's there now and place your bets. But you need a registration system and registration and authentication system in order to facilitate the betting. But it's doable.
If I believe early next month, we should be able to advance that aspect of the technology to all the betting public outside, to further expand our revenue. You'll be able to open your account at Caymanas Park, and then you'll be able to bet. We'll have a dedicated racing channel that every day from as far as racing is concerned, both simulcast as well as local racing will be on that channel, and you'll be able to watch the races place your bets on your smartphone, or if you don't have the luxury of owning a smartphone, use your Nokia via voice to call into a call center. The call center has been visited, tested, and certified by the BJLC. They have done all the testing at the track already. So we are now awaiting final approval, which should be very shortly to move forward with the telephone betting platform for the business.
If I could just direct one question at Mr. Stewart. The stakeholders have been agitating for Sunday racing for some time, and we now have it instituted legally. How successful has Sunday racing been, and what are the plans for an additional day of racing, say a Friday? Say a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We went ahead and we have implemented, started Sunday racing. So far it has been successful in terms of generating a profit on that race day. Albeit, we as management think that for the effort, we should be making some more to the bottom line. And we have started a discussion with our union aimed at the flexi work week. We realize that we are running ahead of the legislation and the laws, but we have had spirited and good discussion, because you see, on Sundays, the wages currently are double, and we are trying to get them to move away in the interest of the company to a lower rate of remuneration. So we have plans for more Sunday races. I think the original plan that was approved by the GRC that we had sent them, called, we had proposed 12 Sunday race days. Incidentally, Sunday coming is a race day. And so we're running races Saturday and Sunday. Last year, with the suggestions from some of my friends and some of the workers at the ministry, we were looking at having a carnival of racing on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Unfortunately, we had to abandon that because most of the trainers came at us and said we just did not have the amount of horses that would allow us to put on 3 good cards in successive days. So here again, once we can start importing and getting that the stuff up, then we can look at an additional day, like Friday, Saturday. But right now, based on the current healthy stock of horses, I don't think we can do more than 4 race days. So as not to cannibalize one program.
The question of Sunday racing. You and I and all the racers maybe fought for it for years. Eventually it came, and you were under the impression, based upon what Mr. Newton got a sword did somewhere in 1956, 40 days don't have any racing, right? We were under the impression that CTA would have a monopoly deal. That was one of the main things that I am being told, I'm not sure, that the bookmakers know. We don't have a problem with our people, but the fact of the matter, if you have a monopoly deal is Sunday, the turnover is about double time. I am being told that the bookmakers are given right. I have not seen nothing in Parliament about it. I would like to know how they get the right to be operating with CTA on a Sunday. Which section of the law and which of the authority to give them the right? Because you could have bring in or don't have no horse. The question of you operating on a day without any competition. You should be making 50 million turnover, 50 million a day. I want to know how come the bookmaker who fought us against it is now enjoying something we fought for. And we don't even know. I don't think every gentleman know that the bookmaker is operating. Was illegal and then operating now legal. And a Sunday, I would like to hear who gives them the authority without consultation. Because the question of stakeholders of the racing industry is different from every other business in Jamaica. I want the public to know that we have 1,401 stars down there. And at $1,800 a day is $1.something billion. We get $400 something a year, $400 million a year. So there's a deficit about 900 million. All of you are not talking about that investment. There's a deficit about $900 million in the racing industry. And who is supporting? We Indians. They are different people. So I want to know how come the bookmaker can be selling bets legally on Sundays while it was under the impression that we would have a monopoly day.
Thank you very much, Vin. We'll direct that question to the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission, who must have given them permission, right? Thank you all very much. This brings us to the end of this session, right? And I'm going to hand back now over to Mr. Shirley. Jack, maybe you can answer the question about Sunday betting too.
No, as far as I'm aware, no bookmakers have been given a license to operate on Sunday. So if you say anything like that, it's an illegal activity.
No.
Yeah, but who gave you that impression? Yeah, but Mr. Edwards, Brother Bill, who gave you the impression that Sunday races, which you all clamored for and everybody stayed away from, I personally, have taken a political price for it.
I agree.
From the churches, but I'm a churchman too, and I go to church and come back. Okay? we took the decision and took the decision to allow Plateau and Casbah to be sold on a Sunday, because I see people coming from church and going there to buy oil. But I'm saying, who gave you the impression that it would be exclusive to CTL and not to all the stakeholders?